Hey everyone out there in the world of YouTube. I know it's been a while since I've been on again. I know, crazy, but stuff's been going on. So anyways, I was thinking to myself, I was like, what else could I do a video of? Because I know not really that exciting. 5,000 miles has coming past, but I'm sitting there thinking to myself, and I said, hey, I've actually not done a proper full interior quality video of this vehicle. So I guess that's going to be my next topic. So here it is. First of all, opening the door panel, first thing you're going to see and touch. Of course, all the exterior door handles are nice. They don't feel cheap and chintzy. They don't wiggle around. So you open the door, nice solid feeling. This being an SE, and of course for 2012s, the SEL and the titanium got this actually soft touch up here. Of course, that's reserved for the titanium now. You have your really nice metal finish door handles, which is just like the metal that you're going to find on the steering wheel. And those two are similar finishes, and it's actually a pretty cohesive look. This plastic here is hard, of course, but it's substantial. You can't push it in. It's rock hard, no pun intended. So I mean, the door panels are all right. I just wish this top part, I wish they were all soft, because this can be a little tiresome if you have your elbow up here for a while. It's a little hard, but I really can't complain. You have nice cloth inlay here. Of course, with those models with leather, you're going to have leather in there instead of cloth. The only real complaint I have about this door is this freaking pole is just, it's tiny, and it really, I mean, sometimes it creaks. I don't know if you can hear that, but it kind of creaks, and it doesn't, you know, give you the best feeling. But again, that's really, I mean, those two things with the door panel and this, those are my two gripes about it. There's nice big storage in here. There's no cup holder in here because those are reserved for the front, and then there's some in the back, but there's plenty of storage here if you need to just chuck something in. This is something that I added. Those are just aluminum door sill plates to keep your feet off of the paint, because if you look, there's already a bunch of scuff marks on here, so that prevents the paint from getting all messed up on the inside of the vehicle here. Now moving to the inside, I'll go over the seat fabrics first. This stuff is notorious for picking up any kind of hair. I mean, you can see all the hair that it's picked up. This like mesh material in the middle will pick up hair like a magnet. So if you have one of these, fair warning, if you buy one, be prepared to deal with hair, and getting it out is a little troublesome. You have to get one of the brushes on the shop vac to actually get in there and actually get it out. It does like to hold on to stuff, so just bear that in mind. The bolsters are made out of a different material with nice contrasted gray stitching. You have the same material here in the middle that you have on the bolsters, and of course that same material continues up here on the side and the top. And the same materials up here on the headrest, along with contrast stitching on the headrest. So I'm forewarning anyone who's looking to buy a Focus, alright? These cloth seats must be kept clean, because if you just let shit get in there, you're never going to get it out. Alright, you must keep these clean. Otherwise your cloth seats are just going to look like shit all the time. Moving to the interior. Everything on the dashboard is pretty high quality. I really have no qualms about it. It's a nice, pliable, soft material. I have yet to hear a rattle or a squeak from any panel in here. Everything has been sound so far. But anyways, you can see the soft touch material comes up to this point and it cuts over. This little bit up here is hard towards the front of the windshield, because who the hell's going to touch that? I remember somebody, I don't remember who it was. I think it was maybe it was Consumer Reports or Car and Driver was bitching that this created glare for the driver, but do you see any glare on that windshield other than the A-pillar? I really don't. I think they were nitpicking, but you know, typical stuff that almost everybody does that. You're not going to find a dash that's almost completely fully padded all the way to the front. It just doesn't make any sense. Anyway, over here to the side, this being an SE, it doesn't have those nice metallic trim that usually goes around. You can see this little part right here usually has that metallic trim, but I mean, like I said, SE, so I'm not really complaining. These are made out of a good material, sturdy. Of course, the same soft material continues down here. You have your light controller, which I really like this new Ford light controller. It has a nice click to it. These buttons have a nice feel. They don't feel cheap or chintzy or anything. And of course, they are pretty easy to use. Every once in a while, if you have the steering wheel some way, if you reach down and you can't see it, but you have to turn the steering wheel. But like I said, I'm kind of nitpicking there. Let's see. The only thing that I kind of notice here is the gap here is good, but this kind of gets a little bit bigger down here at the end. But you know, that is a panel where soft and hard come together, and that's hard to do. Which, I mean, that's acceptable to me. That's not like Toyota Camry bad, but that's just something, you know, I noticed, so I thought I'd throw it in. And another thing where it's usually tricky is the center stack, where you have to integrate the radio and the vents and everything. But excuse me, everything down here is very consistent, especially down through here. This is a very clean, consistent, even build quality line. The gap is consistent and even all the way up, all the way down the side. And then that continues down here. You have this line, which is consistent and good. And you know, I've actually seen one or two really early build Focuses that have had this kind of separated, but this one's nice and clean and consistent. All the gaps in here, this would be a disaster. This would be a perfect spot for them to mess up. But all the gaps here, clean, consistent all the way down. And it comes around to the shifter. You know, this could be somewhere where they could really mess up, but it's actually, everything fits pretty well. And the shifter itself just gives you a real feeling of solidity and quality in this car. I know it sounds silly that the shifter makes the car, but seriously, go get in one of these and just feel this thing. It's like perfectly weighted, and it makes you feel like the whole car is just well put together. I know, the shifter of all things, but still. You have a little gadget thingy here. I don't really find it particularly useful for anything but a thing of chapstick. This line is, again, another good opportunity where they could have fucked up, but if you take a look, perfect, clean line, no problems at all. This is another good place where they could have messed up here at the bottom. They could have had it overlap more at one end than it does the other, but again, good line. And you have your little 12-volt outlet along with your change. Of course, this being, you know, an SE with a 5-speed, you have that skinny center console. If you had the winter pack, it would have that big center console because you would have the heated seat controls in there. One thing I really love about this car is these covers for the 12-volt power outlets. They feel so solid. They don't feel really cheap like they could fall off. They're just there, and they're not going anywhere. This center console is not the best thing in the world. I've definitely seen better before, but again, for what it is, it's not bad. I wish they had put contrasted stitching to match the seats on this console. That is my one... it's not something I think about all the time, but when I look at it, I'm like, contrasting stitching? Non-contrasting stitching, but oh well. Moving along to the B-pillar. This is a good place where a lot of people fuck up. You have your weather stripping, which this camera is kind of weird right now. You have the weather stripping that comes up. Sometimes on a lot of cars, the weather stripping will kind of ripple up here as it gets older. Of course, this one's fine because it's almost brand new. All the lines up here towards the ceiling, if the camera would focus, are clean. As you can see, I mean, there's nothing, no horrible lines. No, you know, the airbag cover emblem is perfect. Coming down, I've got my dirt right there. Everything fits good. You can't see any excessive gaps. Now, there is a gap here, but I will note that while there's a gap on this side, you take a look at that side, it's the same exact gap. So it's just a function of the panels fitting together that way. And of course, this same material follows down and across the door panels. One thing I will say about this plastic material on top is that you have to be careful, because I scratched it one place. I don't remember where it is. I don't see it now, but I scratched it once, and it wasn't really that hard to do. So just buyer beware. This is where things take a bit of a dive for the Focus. These door panels, of course, are hard just like the front, but then again, you don't get a cloth inlay here. This is all hard, that's all hard. This door panel is hard, and it just doesn't, you know, it's not the same as the front, because the front has that nice cloth. We'll go ahead and get in. I'm putting my feet all over my jacket. This really doesn't follow through with the rest of the interior, so it's all hard. This entire door panel is hard, but I mean, I'm sounding like I have a lot of gripes, but overall I really do like this car. I'm just trying to give everyone, you know, the full spectrum here, so you're not like in the dark about what's got what and what, you know, fits well and what doesn't. You have a 12-volt outlet back here, which is actually has a different lid on it than the one in the front, but still not bad. Moving to the C and I guess D pillar areas, all the lines up here are consistent. They all fit well. Nothing is hanging in the balance. It's all solidly put into place there. And just to give you an idea, see this side. Voila. If it will focus. Get it? Focus. The one thing I did notice is if you see over here, this back panel, see how that kind of comes up at the top here? I did notice that. I saw that in the rearview mirror one day. And then also, if it does it on this side too, so if anything, it's consistent. But I did notice that. But again, I mean, these are really just things that I'm kind of nitpicking about because I'm in here and examining everything. See, you can see this. If you've got dry skin and you rub your elbow against this fabric, it will actually get the dust from your skin on it. So again, if you're looking to get one of these Focuses, please beware of this meshy cloth. I'm not saying it's bad. It's great. Holds you in place and it's, you know, feels like it's going to last a while. But beware that it will attach things to itself. It will get stuff on it. So if you're really OCD about that, just keep in mind, alright? Because every time I wash this thing, I vacuum it, or at least, you know, try to brush whatever or pull whatever hair off the seats, because it will get in there and it will stay there. Just for those of you who didn't see, cup holder here, you can tell it's got the little thingy there. And then you got a little storage pocket. I find that actually works pretty good as a cup holder too, especially when the door's closed, because you can just kind of slide it in there if you've got a can or something. And there's also a little pocket down here for your backseat passengers. While we're at it, I know I've done this before, but this is the leg room back here. That's where I would have the seat. And it's nice that the seat kind of goes in and comes out at the top, because it gives somewhere for your knees to go. And there's plenty of leg room. There's great lateral support. And the seats back here are, you know, actually pretty comfortable. As you can see, the hump from the sunroof is here, but it comes back as the back seats are back here. And I've got, I don't know, however, 2 inches of headroom still back here, and I'm sitting like stark straight up. So other than that, I think that's just about all the points that I wanted to hit for the interior quality. I know I kind of went off on a tangent there talking about headroom, but either way, I'm going to leave you guys there, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.